All right, well, if I could describe this situation in a word, I think strange is the correct word. Don Lemon joins X. We know Elon Musk has been trying to get all these, former media members, Tucker Carlson, some of the big names. And Lemon does his first interview with Elon Musk, and Elon Musk ends up legitimately firing Don Lemon and ending the show. And then it comes out after that Lemon asked for equity within X. He wanted a Cybertruck, a bunch of weird stuff. And I'm guessing that really wasn't the reason that Musk fired him. It was more so this interview that Lemon recently released, and a lot of talk about DEI on this. It did seem like Lemon was trying to have a bit of a gotcha interview, which I'm sure Musk did not appreciate. And then, of course, Lemon runs to CNN the next day to talk about it, which is pretty hilarious. And by the way, Lemon getting fired, I know everyone's like, oh, Vivek got Don Lemon fired. Are we really sure on that? Like him leaving CNN is just a lot of the times that these big time TV hosts leave networks. It's just weird. Like Tucker Carlson leaving Fox. It's just all strange. Why would you fire Tucker Carlson? He is the number one biggest political star outside of Donald Trump in the United States. But either way, we're just going to kind of go through some of this. You can see Don Lemon Show. This is what they discussed. News on X, Donald Trump and possibly endorsing a candidate. Now, Elon Musk was coy when it came to possibly giving money to Trump. Lemon pushed Elon about, having a meeting with Trump. Elon said no. Trump came up to me and talked to me, and then it's very obvious that Elon is a conservative, guys. Let's be honest. It's kind of like the Joe Rogan thing where Rogan's like, no, I'm still independent. I guess Rogan does it more, but we both know they are leaning to the right at this point. Talking about Tesla, talking about video games, tweeting, and drug use. Yeah, that was a weird part of this interview where Lemon pushes Elon on possible prescriptions he has. It's just kind of strange. It really didn't add anything to it. Just a weird thing to ask, honestly. The great replacement theory. Oh, goody. Content moderation. Yeah. So when it comes to stuff like this, obviously, many of these people, especially liberals, are not happy at all what Elon Musk has done to X in the form of free speech. And kind of the standard liberal retort to Musk allowing free speech on this platform is, oh, you're endangering people by allowing people to spew this terrible, stuff. It's all white supremacist. It's all terrible. That's why immediately after Musk took over, they came out with news articles and stuff saying, oh, there's a rise of white supremacy on X. Well, no, there's a rise of literally everything on X, considering X is more popular. And yes, when you open it up and you don't ban people, there's going to be a rise of racism against everyone. That's just the reality of it. What Musk has to say is, listen, what happened in 2019 and 2020 showed a lack of evolution by the people that were in control of these platforms. What do I mean by that? When you have control over a platform, it's real easy, instead of arguing with the other side, to just silence the other side. And guess what they did? They just silenced the other side. Think about it. They say, oh, well, when you speculate about voter fraud, that's disinformation, that's misinformation. Of course, those were words they brought in and really started talking about around 2019, 2020 to be able to utilize them and deploy them. And then they did just that and called everything they don't like disinformation and misinformation. But what about in 2017, 2018, when all the liberals were saying, oh my God, the election was stolen by Russia? Where were the words disinformation and misinformation then? Oh, they weren't around, were they? Yeah, no, they did a 2-year investigation, wasted millions in taxpayer money, and found nothing. But don't worry, guys, Russians hacked into our brains. It's just hilarious to me how they blame Russia for manipulating the election via social media, and then they do it in 2020 and brag about it with the Hunter Biden story. It's the biggest form of hypocrisy I've ever seen. But yeah, content moderation. No, we're not going to go back. We're not going to unevolve ourselves. We're going to have these conversations. If I'm Musk, this is what I'm saying. I'm not silencing liberals. I'm not silencing conservatives. We're going to hash this out. It's better to talk than to just silence people. That is prehistoric thinking. That is full-on dictatorship, to where, oh, we control social media so we can just silence you. We don't have to hear your opinion. We'll call what you say disinformation, misinformation. We don't have to back it up. Just like when we silenced the Hunter Biden story, there's no backup to if it's actually false or not, but we'll use a buzzword like disinformation and misinformation, And then, of course, you have all the people that are literal robots just repeating the words disinformation, misinformation. They're like little rats, and you just tell them what to do and they'll do it. And that's what happened in 2020. And then they did seemingly have a bit of an argument about DEI when it comes to doctors being hired. Now, I don't know what Lemon was talking about. He was referencing the history of the medical field. Nobody is talking about the history of the medical field. We're talking about the future of it. And the fact, and Lemon's like, oh, there's only 5% minority or 10% minority, whatever it is. Yeah, that's the point. The idea is if you look at the medical industry and the amount of doctors and the low percentage of minority doctors, it makes sense that all of these ridiculously liberal schools would make it easier for minorities to become doctors, which is a problem because if you lower the standard, that likely will cause issues in the future when it comes to surgeries and doing things. If you're a doctor, you need to be qualified. You cannot lower the standards. Musk, I believe this whole thing started with him responding to an article about Duke, or maybe Ben Shapiro talked about it to where they were lowering standards, and it makes perfect sense. The whole idea of DEI is a quota system. Now, Mark Cuban can argue, oh no, it's just to give everyone a fair shot. And I can understand that argument. But what Don Lemon was saying during that interview, saying that, I don't even know what he was talking about. Unfortunately, Musk didn't really do a great job of pushing back against it. But I don't know why Don Lemon was talking about the history of doctors and saying, oh, there's been mistakes in the past. Yeah, there's mistakes in literally every profession. What are you talking about? The idea of DEI, you're literally proving Elon Musk's point by saying only 5 or 10% are minorities. That's the idea. They're going to, that looks really bad to liberal schools. They're going to try and improve those numbers. So they're going to make it easier for minorities to become doctors, which could lower the standard, and possibly you're going to have issues when it comes to surgeries if they're not qualified or the standard has been lowered from where it was. That's the idea behind it. So I don't know what Don Lemon is talking about, and it seems like Elon was really pissed off. I mean, obviously he was pissed off. He fired the dude after one show, and again, it came out that Lemon reportedly asked for a Cybertruck. He wanted equity. I don't understand any of that. Didn't they already have a deal? Why would Lemon come back and ask for more, or was it during negotiations? I'm not sure. But either way, Don Lemon comes out with an interview that Elon Musk did not appreciate on his own platform. Kind of a gotcha interview, I guess. Elon gets pissed off about it. Really, just odd situation when it comes to those two. And then this was an article that I found. I'm just going to go through this because it's fun. Trump says he's ready to debate Biden. Don't believe him. The Boston Globe is coming out to tell us why Donald Trump is so afraid of the charismatic Joe Biden. I think, don't they have to debate each other 3 times? Because if you remember back in 2016, Trump and Hillary debated 3 times. Trump and Biden in 2020 were supposed to debate 3 times. Trump was quarantined, so I think they only debated twice, but I thought they just debated 3 times anyways. I don't know, but this article is just amazing. You can see Trump and other Republicans were probably banking on Biden's recent State of the Union address to be a failure. Well, why would they care what Biden's State of the Union address does? He's already so unlikable. He would need some type of miracle. They're making it seem like Biden has this great approval rating and is doing great in the polls. Obviously, that's not the case. And they say, oh, it wasn't. So Biden, I guess, had a good State of the Union. Instead, the president received generally good reviews for what had been called the most important speech of his political career. I'm guessing those good reviews were from CNN. Of course, in reality, the polls show that Biden, who was already the most unlikable president in modern American history, somehow became even more unlikable after the speech. So there's just no basis in reality to these just ridiculously liberal articles. It is funny to make fun of them. But either way, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.